Hi, I'm Don Ney, and thank you for joining me. Once again, we're going to talk a little bit about how we acquire property without the resources to do it. And so instead of saying, look, you don't have to have, you don't have to pay an interest rate, you don't have to have a down payment, you don't have to qualify with FICO scores, you don't have to go to the bank to get permission, you don't have to pay any commissions whatsoever to anybody whatsoever, and you can buy this property at any time, in any place, anywhere, for any price, in any condition. Because this all makes sense. Mother of necessity tells you that if you don't have any income and you don't have a job and you don't have a down payment and you can't pay any interest, then and you don't have any credit, well then of course you don't have a down payment and you can't pay interest and you won't get the bank's permission because you won't qualify anyway. You won't get their permission, so you have to figure out how to do it without their permission. Anywhere, any price, anytime, any condition. This is key, any condition. I've said it twice, maybe 3 times now. Why? Because the condition of the property is a major sales tool when you're buying the property. What you think the condition should be and what they generally say the condition is are two different things. My brother David, I love him dearly, but he got a car back when he was about 17, 18 years old. And he pulled up, to the house that we lived in at the time to show my parents this car that he just bought. And he pulled up with this really long, beautiful green Cadillac. One of the big long Eldorados from the 70s. And we're all looking at that going, wow! Remember now, this is the late 70s, real early, I think 1980, somewhere around there. And he pulls, no, I think it was even earlier than that, but you get the idea. And he pulls up and goes, Dad, Mom, look at my new car. Showroom condition, almost perfect showroom condition. And I'm telling you, look at that car, it was magnificent. He said, wow, that's awesome. White interior, leather, oh, it's great. So we walk around it, we get all the way around to the other side, and we're looking on the passenger side, and we went, holy smokes! David, the whole side's caved in. He goes, yeah, I know, it's no problem. It's nearly showroom condition. And I went, wow, the whole side of that car was just mashed in like somebody drove it up against a fence hard for about 3 miles. He said, I don't care, the door didn't open, the windows were stuck up, but he said, man, this side is perfect and that's what people see. The other side, I don't care. Well, that's how houses are. You'll find out that people will take immaculate care of their landscaping, immaculate care, but on the inside of the house it's just a dump. The inside of the house it's a wreck. Nasty carpets and tile and wood and torn drapes. It's like, they lived in a barn. People like that. Look to your left and look to your right. None of you guys, of course, but people like that. I have to tell you something. Those are the best opportunities. The absolute best opportunities. Because showroom condition to you and showroom condition to someone else is 2 different things. One time, Ordy and I, we went out and we bought a property from a real estate broker who had retired, who no longer was in the business, but owned a bunch of property, and was like, man, this stuff's eating me up. I have so much property. So we did a little research on him and saw all these different places, and we just wrote him a letter and said, hey, listen, we're interested in buying some of your property, some, if not all of it. If, and depends, if it's worth our while, it's worth your while. And the guy calls up and says, I want to talk to you. So we went and saw him, we sat down with him, and we ended up buying 4 of his houses that he financed on one parcel. He financed it by carrying back the mortgage, and we just gave him a small down payment enough to cover our closing costs. And they say, our. It was a great opportunity for us. But the reason I brought that particular opportunity up is because he's a real estate broker who had too much property and knew he had to get rid of it, and he financed it. So he understood the game when it was on the other shoe was on the other foot. He understood that there's things that you have to do if you want to sell your property. There's nothing wrong with that. But to him, the property was a dump and it was in his way and causing problems. To me, it was an opportunity to create new wealth and have new cash flow in our pockets and have another asset that we can turn around and fix and then eventually sell for a profit. And I saw that was the opportunity. He gets what he wants, we get what we want, let's get her done. So we did. Without going into too many details, the neighbor was a marginal neighbor. The neighbor had a lot of little kids. We wanted to sell our beautiful estate that we have now got all repaved and re-roofed and painted and looking magnificent with these 4 houses on one big lot. But the neighbor was kind of ruining that for us because it was a lower economic area of the community. They had some garbage and some tin and some broken windows and a couple of cars didn't run. And I swear to you, I mean, it felt like 20, but I know there was only 7 or 8 kids that lived there. So one day I just said, you know, this place is a mess. It's all gray and painted different colors. I said, you know, I'm going to go over there and solve this problem. I said, we're going to sell this property and we're going to sell it on a particular day. We picked the day we're going to sell our property and then we can sell it that day and we're done. And we were going to sell it on a Sunday. And so it's a big advertising, lots of people showed up, and we did sell it and made a lot of money. But the story is, the lady next door's property was hurting ours. People were going, and looking at her stuff, dump. And then looking at ours going, wow, beautiful, but do I want to be next to, that. So we figured we'd help her out and said, you know what, we're going to have a little party here on Sunday, and there's going to be a bunch of people here that are not from the area, so I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. I'm going to ask you to let me take you and your family on an all-expense-paid, full vacation for the entire day from sunup to sundown to Disneyland at my expense. Would you like to do that? And they said, wow, yeah. And I said, there's 7 of you, you know, there's this, there's that, and I figured that's going to cost me, no kidding, at least $1,000. So we went out and bought all the tickets for Disneyland. I sent somebody to go do it and added a little bit of cash to it and I put it in an envelope and I said, this you get to keep if you don't come back until 7 o'clock tonight. On Sunday night. And they were like, really? Really? That's fantastic. The kids were all excited. I mean, I just wanted them off the property. Come on. I wanted them off the property so when I'm selling mine, nobody was around. But the side of her house and the front of it was still bad. Just really, really bad. So I said, you know, would you mind, just because I want to take some pictures up and down this area, would you mind if I was able to clean this up and then paint this side of your house this color of paint? And I showed her the color. I brought it with me. It was a big 5-gallon bucket, and that color of paint was the same color she had, but just a little cleaner. You know, I don't know if it was gray or pink, but it was better. And she says, wow, no, that'd be great. I said, you got a big broken window there. I'll even fix that for you if you want. And it turned out I never got a chance to fix it. But it didn't matter because I covered it with a piece of plastic. But we painted the whole side of her house nice and clean, and got all the 3 and 4 different colors of it off, and cleaned it all up, and sent all her kids to Disneyland, and sold our property on that Sunday at a magnificent price. So we thought a little outside the box, which is what you have to do when you run into these kind of problems, is that'll happen. So as you go along in your ventures of saying, I can only work with what I don't have, that means you're starting at 0. And if you don't have it, you've got to use what you want to get what it is that you want to have. And that means the house itself that you're buying is the vehicle that you use to create the wealth that you're going to earn. The house is the vehicle that creates the wealth that you want to earn. And here's what I mean by that. Let's say the house costs simply $100,000. Now in my market, a $100,000 house virtually does not exist anymore. Do I buy houses for under that and a lot less than that? Yes, I do. But the actual marketplace, because I'm in California, the actual market is much more than that. It's around 150 to 180,000 is a regular house for us to go in and out of. But it's all economics. It all means the same. But you go to Cleveland, or you go to Florida, you go to Texas, you go to Arizona, you go to Oregon. All these prices change. They can go up or they can go down. But you adjust it for your marketplace. But when you are talking to somebody and you say, hey, listen, this is the average value you want to be in. This is the average marketplace you want to talk to. There's certain number of houses that are listed with a local realtor. And put the word out. You're a buyer, but you only buy if you talk directly with the seller. And realtors learn real quick you're an investor. They'll hunt you down when they want a quick deal. Other than that, they don't waste time on you. That way you don't have to waste time on them either. Which is okay. Some bring me great deals and I pay them after the fact, but I never let them do my deal for me. So here's what ended up happening. You send a little card out. You tell somebody that you're interested in buying. Somebody solicits you and you come into that neighborhood and you say, hey, did you get the card? I sent it out to you because everybody else did and I just want to make sure you got it. Here's what I'm doing. I'm buying houses. And why this area? Well, you live here. It must be nice. That's why I want to buy here. So you get people to loosen up a little bit, and then you start talking to them about what you're doing, and it's like a forest fire. Immediately it's off. There's a fire going, and the neighborhood knows you're there. The neighborhood knows you're in the community, you're buying property, and you're looking to make a deal. You're looking to create some wealth You're looking to write an offer. You're looking to sit down and talk to people and find if the ingredients are there so you can connect to them, you can identify with them. You're looking to find out why they want to move, when they want to move, where they want to move to, and how you can help get them there. You got a little notebook with you as you're doing this. This is field work. This is fun times. This is living the dream. This is going in, run to Starbucks, run to Target, go have some lunch, go back to the neighborhood. Talk to people. It's exciting because by doing that, they've given you all the answers. Keep coming to you. They're throwing the answers at you. Oh, help me, help me. Listen, you ever had a job change? You ever had a loss of a loved one? You ever had little Johnny go and need bail money? You know, do you ever, unable to afford your house and went into a foreclosure? Did you ever get demoted and fired? Did you ever have something happen where you need to get out of your house to move next to a family member because of an illness? Or, is there a reason you had to be near your parents? Or did you want to move to that new community because it's more people like you versus where you live right now? Did you want a newer house? Did you want an older house? Do you want a bigger house or do you want a smaller house? Do you want a more expensive house or do you want more of an affordable house? You got to ask yourself, these are all the reasons people move. So when they move, you know the reason. Let's go a little further back before they actually made up the reason they wanted to move. And if you learn those elements at the seed level, you're more apt to buy more houses. Why? Because you're fulfilling the need that they have in their life. The need they have is something other and more powerful to them than the house itself. So ask questions. Ask questions. Take an interest in people. Treat them with human dignity. Line yourself up for success. Make sure you have a pen and a piece of paper and a watch. You don't need a cell phone, but you need a watch because you don't want to overdo your welcome. And believe me, I've done that a few times. People literally throw me out of the house going, "You've been here 6 hours." And I said, "I know, and I still haven't bought the house. What is wrong with me? What am I doing wrong not to get you to agree to sell me the house?" And I've been there 6 hours. Oh boy, that'll get some people excited. But this is me making myself better, making myself stronger. You don't have to do those things. I've done for you so you can bypass all that and go right to the making of the money. And there's money to be made. Join me again when we talk again. Thank you very much. I'm Don May.